Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Blessings to y'all. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. IG, Elephant Man _ podcast, Twitter / Poster Boys, Elephant Man Podcast, / Elephant Man Podcast on Facebook, or in the bottom right corner, hit the Paleo Hebrew symbol. And subscribe to YouTube. We might have to be trying to move all the way to a whole nother different thing. BitChute, Rumble, trying to be able to get some flow loading up on those platforms. Hebrew Connect, Odyssey, and Hebrew Sphere. Blessings to everybody. I want to stay with my time. I didn't have a specific set time. And I did a survey, and majority of people said that this time would be a good time. So at 6 o'clock, daylight savings time just started last night. Lost an hour, but that's okay because guess what? The growers, a grow culture. Those of us who grow, we get an hour of sunlight. So blessings to everybody. I'm going to say what's going on to everybody in a minute. If you haven't seen Aruka at the Well and Stay on Fire Ministry, End Time Prophetic Build, I have been getting hit up by so many people saying, come back, have a second, a part two. And the special guest, Apostle Curtis Lewis, jumped in there. And it was a blessed time. And it was we just talking about the solemn assembly that we had to come back, be together on one accord, and have a solemn assembly. So blessings to everybody. All right, blessings to everybody. Thank you all too. 90,000 views. Now some of these large channels, that might not mean a lot, but every person that logs on and every person, because you could be doing something else. We only got 24 hours in a day. We only got so much that we could do. So for you to just stop by and chop it up with your brother, I just say thank you. 90,000 views. Thank you. I don't know why this thing's making all this sound. I don't know if y'all can hear those sounds in the background. Blessings to everybody. Patricia, blessings to you. Shalom, Patricia. All right, Camp 4 from Baltimore, blessings to you. Shalom. Yo, I'll come back to the Baltimore area, member. Have to look you up, man, and take you out to lunch, brother. I had a great time when I was up that way. I like the whole DMV area anyway, but I had a good time when I was in Baltimore, man. I stayed in that CVS downtown. All right, so blessings. Shalom, family. I don't know who this is, so go ahead and put it in who it is. You see how it comes out by Facebook. So go ahead and put it in the chat. Angela Bolden, blessings to you. Blessings. Okay, Yas, blessings to you. Saraya, blessings to you. Blessings to everyone that is coming in. Like, subscribe, share. Also, I'm going to hit this in the chat. I just put the form for the survey. Actually, a few more questions. They're not probing questions. It's just some questions so we can know what to do as a team to bring good content, great content, and to serve brothers and sisters of the community better. So blessings to y'all, man. We had a good time the other day. And then also, Sister Jill is going to, at the Rook at the Well, is going to, I'm supposed to be going on her platform on Wednesday. Once I get that information, I will be posting it on my Facebook. All right. Woke Baby said subscribe. Everybody talking about the Woke Baby. Blessings to y'all. So listen, man, there's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. So we just going to chew the fat, like I always say. We're going to chop it up, chew the fat. Some of this stuff I had to just wait. And we'll talk about that stuff later. But man, I want to get right into this as far as it's probably old news for some of you guys. But I never seen it rain, or they say it never rained in Southern California. Well, that's a lie because this show is doing way more than that. So let's look at that real quick. We're going to look at the levees breaking, and then we're going to look at this thing about California got hit up. I ain't never seen it. You know, I mean, we always get floods, and we always get tornadoes, we always get earthquakes and stuff, but it's just real wild over there. So let's watch this real quick.
Disaster in Central California in the wake of the 10th atmospheric river to wash over the state this winter. A levee breach near the farming community of Pajaro in Monterey County has triggered massive flooding, prompting widespread evacuations and dozens of water rescues. Record snowfall in the Sierras is also causing new avalanche and landslide fears as the state goes from one weather extreme to another. CBS's Joy Benedict is in Crestline in San Bernardino County.
Good evening, Nancy. Yeah, it's called an atmospheric river. It's a storm that slammed California, and now there is a danger of not only this snowpack, but surging runoff that could devastate this state even more. Racing to dig out and stock up as already overwhelmed mountain communities struggle with rain and snow melt that could destroy even more homes.
I'm calling it a white tornado.
In Crestline, Don Turek looks at what's left of his home. Not much, with the roof in the living room and in the kitchen.
This thing came down in a 7-day period like never before.
David Daniels lives around the corner, or at least he used to, before his roof also collapsed.
First time into my life. I'm 60 years old and I'm homeless.
But Central California bore the brunt of this storm. Early today in Pajaro, a levee failed, prompting round-the-clock rescues by the National Guard. Throughout Monterey and Santa Cruz counties, beaches are littered with debris and miles of road are impassable due to rock slides, mudslides, and collapsed pavement. Further north in Kernville, this is just one of at least a dozen rivers that overflowed, with officials monitoring 30 more statewide. In San Francisco, the winds and rains caused a massive tree to crush several cars. Now, Caltrans crews have been working around the clock to try and clear the snow. This month alone, they have cleared 45 million cubic yards of snow. That is enough to fill 100 Rose Bowl stadiums. Nancy.
Joy Benedict, thank you.
Everyone needs to have this tool to protect their home. And
so that's amazing. I think another thing too with the, I'm gonna show this other video with the levee breaking. So I just think it's just more than just rain. And with just like with Katrina, we found out that it was not just rain, but it was, I don't know if a Lake Pontchartrain or something had something to do with a levee breaking. When the levee break, it's a whole other different program. So let's
hunting rain from what the National Weather Service is calling an unparalleled weather event. But early this morning, the unthinkable happened. Take a look at this. This is a levee in Monterey, California, just south of San Francisco, that has given way. The levee breach sending floodwaters gushing toward communities below. Thousands were evacuated, and it is still unclear just how bad the damage is. A desperate effort is underway right now to plug that breach and stop the flooding. Across central and northern California, the rain has washed away roads and flooded communities. And unfortunately, there is no relief in sight. More rain is set to batter the region tomorrow. Steve Patterson starts our coverage tonight from Springville, California. Steve.
Jose, here the rain may have stopped, the sun is up, but this threat of flash flooding has gone nowhere because of how swollen river systems like the one next to me are. As we speak, search and rescue crews remain out in full force after a wall of water struck this state.
Tonight, the worst-case scenario in Northern California, the Pajaro River levee in Monterey County failing, flooding homes and farmland. Overnight, door-to-door evacuations and more than 60 water rescues.
We were able to evacuate 2/3 of Pajaro. The other people who stood behind to try to gather their things are now trapped behind the water line.
More than 8,500 people forced to evacuate countywide. Residents warned not to use tap water. California slammed once again by an atmospheric river. life-threatening flash flooding in some places, residents trapped by washed-out roads in others.
We're stranded. We're not going anywhere unless it's an emergency.
4 million people in the West remain under flood alerts, with as much as 3 more inches of rain in some places expected through Sunday. And in the High Sierra, another 8 inches to 2 feet of snow is possible. The worry there, this tropical system melting part of a historic snowpack, leading to more flash flooding and avalanches in communities already trapped under feet of snow.
It's kind of like living in a Jumanji movie. Every day there's a new surprise.
In Gilroy, California, heartbreak.
We have nothing else.
The Silva family's home flooded back in January. After losing nearly everything, they stayed strong and rebuilt. As they prepared to move back in, the floodwaters rose again, this time ruining everything left, including their crops.
We're not quite sure what we're going to do because everything that we had is destroyed.
Steve is there in Central California. Steve, can you give us a sense of the damage you're seeing around you?
Jose, you can hear it, you can see it, you can feel it, the power of this river next to me as it overloaded this neighborhood. And you can see the result behind me, that deck crumbled, and it is home after home, and there's little relief in sight. As residents clean up, the next storm system expected to move in as early as Monday. Jose?
Wow.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel.
Wow. You know what? That's what I'm saying, man. You can have something one day and the next day is gone. So we got to count our blessings, man. And, oh, man, it's just very interesting to watch. It's very, very interesting to watch, man. I just be like, wow. And then, you know, I think the main thing, too, would sometimes it be a one-road town or a two-road town. If it's a rock avalanche, right, or if the whole concrete fall out, you ain't going nowhere. You need to be helicopter lifted up out of that piece. You're not going nowhere. If it ain't no grocery store, even if it is a grocery store, the driver's got to get to the grocery store to open it to let you in, right? And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, I mean, yeah, fair use. Thank you, Sister Ruhama. Blessings to you. Shalom, Shalama Ruhama. And they help the chocolate people as well. I hope they help the chocolate people. Yeah, I hope so too. Hope they're not a respecter person. It is sad and devastating. Calvin Andrews, shalom, blessings to you. But man, it don't take long, man. Just think about, you know, all your, you know, your pictures and all of your stuff you collected over there, especially if you've been living in a spot for more than 5 to 10 years. You got memories, you got pictures, you got, man, it'll take about water to wash it away, or flood, or fire, or tornado, and it's just amazing. Danielle Felder, blessings to you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Calvin Andrus, blessings to you. Shalom. Joy 3168. Blessings to you. Shalom. Shalom. Mariah Yasharal. Blessings to you. Shalom. Blessings to you. Yeah, so I just think that that's very, very interesting, man. Continue to pray. Continue to pray for the for the nations, man. I just, it's just crazy, man. It's just to see this stuff just happen right before your eyes is just crazy. And you know, so we got to be committed and attached to the kingdom, be in it but not of it. And I don't do this kind of show to show doom and gloom, and you know, and life do got to go on, but we just got to be obviously in all our ways acknowledge him, and he would direct our path. We got to acknowledge him, right? Not just when it gets tough, but acknowledge him. That was one of the messages, you know, that went forth. But we all know about this bank. I'm gonna play this video real quick. Very interesting.
Tonight, increasing fallout following the historic collapse of Silicon Valley Bank.
Are you an Etsy seller and didn't get paid today? Neither did I.
The demise of the nation's 16th largest bank, once a titan in the world of tech startups, wreaking havoc, including for sellers who use e-commerce site Etsy. The company acknowledging some users aren't getting paid because it distributed money through SVB.
Look at Those funds feed my family and pay my bills.
Amanda Nielsen runs her handmade soaps business through Etsy.
Seems a little unfair, doesn't it?
It does seem unfair. It really does.
She says she's no longer receiving deposits, though Etsy says it expects to pay sellers via other payment partners within the next several business days.
I had no idea this was going to affect me.
Silicon Valley Bank's failure was the largest in the U.S. since the 2008 financial crisis. Earlier this week, the bank took a loss of $1.8 billion on the sale of bonds, fueled in part by the Federal Reserve's rapid interest rate increases. As fear set in, customers rushed to withdraw $42 billion in deposits. By Friday morning, the bank had failed.
The market did not respond like they thought, and the ramifications were that they were running out of money.
For companies that had money at SVB, on Monday, the FDIC will provide insured depositors up to $250,000.
And then anything after that, unfortunately, you will have to wait.
Some companies now scrambling for access to cash. New York-based toy store Camp issuing this email to its customers, begging for help, saying, "We had most of our company's cash assets at a bank, which just collapsed," and offering a 40% discount for those using the promo code BANKRUN.
And George, we have new reporting tonight about internal payments at Silicon Valley Bank.
Yeah, that's right, Jose. CNBC is reporting that bank employees were paid their annual bonuses just hours before federal regulators took over on Friday. Now, sources say some of those payments were already scheduled for that day, but the optics here, hard to look past. Jose?
All right.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
So I think that's a fair use. Fair use. Let me go ahead and play my fair use. Shalom and Torah. Ophiz the Hebrew Chalmers. Blessings to you. Yeah, I think that's very, very interesting. But see, a lot of times, man, like you don't know if they crashed it on their own, you know what I mean, to create these problems, or is it just the bank just failed because more and more is going to fail. I remember a couple of months ago when a few truckers up in, I don't know if you guys remember this, a few truckers up in Canada that didn't want to take the jab or whatever. And they was trying. They supposed to bring some imports into America or whatever, and that trucker strike and all of that. And they was like, "Yo, we not driving over there, and we ain't taking your jab." This, that, and the other. It was a big standoff. They weren't driving the trucks, and then they just started freezing their accounts. That's crazy. I don't understand how you can freeze somebody's account, right? That's their money. It's in their account. They earned it. Right, you can't put nobody on timeout or punishment because they're not doing what you're saying. But I'm saying with the global reset, this is the area that this world system want to go into, right? That's why we have to be with Yahusha. We have to be in it, but not of it. And these are not to bring hopelessness or anything like that, but it's just to let you know that this is where we headed as a nation, a country, and the world is where they want to take us, right? With the global reset. But I think about trying to go cashless society. Now, what if it's a cashless society and there ain't no, a lot of people say, take your money out the bank. It was saying you only could take a little bit out. And then after that, you got to wait for the rest. But what if it's all digital? The plan is to go all digital. What if it's all digital and the bank collapse? Then they can bring their solution to the problems that is being said and being seen, right? So I think that's real weird, and then also I always say this in multiple shows: if we get a whole digital currency, you'll be able to track every single dollar spent, right? You won't be able to buy a stick of gum without them knowing about it, right? And then to have the ability to freeze accounts, right? If your social credit score ain't all that, that's crazy, right? Because it's the world system. Right now it's too many options. Like some people took the jab because of their job. Some states made it mandatory, right? Some people was like, I ain't doing it, right? But they're trying to create different ways to where it's like everybody's gonna get funneled into the same position, right? So you'll be in a certain position, and so That's just my opinion with that. All right, it's a digital having cash. If it's on digital, cash will be useless. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to crash. I know they're gonna crash the dollar, right? And a lot of people are not happy with America, man. America, America is in a bad position with a lot of different countries, to be honest, right? We think we're the good guys, we think we're the heroes, and we think that everybody loves us and everybody's jealous of us, and everybody else is a terrorist, and everybody. No. We're not in a good position at all, So we got to keep our eyes on Yahushua, keep our mind on Yahushua, because it said he'll keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee, no matter what is going on around us, right? And it shouldn't have to come to a door near a neighborhood near you in order for it to be real. It's going on all around us, right? Yep, the mark of the beast. They eventually want to do that. Oh, greetings. Blessings to you. Blessings. Yeah, I did see that. The stock market predicted to crash in 60 days, right? And then I think Biden was talking about putting out $1 trillion package or something, taxing the wealthy and doing $1 trillion package. I'm like, man, the dollar is against the ropes. You know what I mean? And Russia and China is making moves to come against the dollar, whatever. So the petrol is backed by the dollar and stuff like that. So, but so much money. Shalom, Apostle Curtis Lewis. I don't think I said shalom to you in the chat. So let's go to this next little story. C-19 origins. Now they want to talk about C-19 origins. I want to talk about that. So let's play that video. Come here, Red. Okay. So let's see, can we get this going on real quick? This next video. All right, let's see. Share the screen. U.S. House votes to declassify C-19 origin. Okay. All right, let's see this one real quick.
This was a rare show of bipartisan support, wasn't it?
Yes, no one voted against this bill. It passed the Senate last week, and today in the House was voted in support unanimously, 419 votes to 0. Now, this issue has really been revived here in the United States in recent weeks after a report from the US Energy Department was made public. It concluded, admittedly with a low level of confidence, that the COVID-19 pandemic did arise from an accidental lab leak in Wuhan, China. And in the days after that report came to light, the FBI director also came out publicly and said that's what the FBI has believed for some time. But unlike this vote, the support for this theory is far from unanimous. There are 4 other intelligence agencies in the United States who favour the alternative theory that COVID-19 originated from an instance of natural transmission from an infected animal. And we have actually heard from the Director of National Intelligence testifying to Congress earlier this week that this has been a very difficult thing to investigate, the origins of COVID-19. There has been suggestions that the investigations have been hindered by China, and China, for its part, when this began to resurface in the last couple of weeks, hit back, said that this was an attempt by America to smear China and politicize the pandemic.
So, Emily, what happens next?
Well, the ball is really in Joe Biden's court now. Once a bill passes the House, it then goes to the president's desk to sign into law. He does have the option to veto it. At the moment, there's not really any indication that he will. The White House has said today that only that he'll look at the bill and consider it. But if it is signed into law, the Director of National Intelligence has 90 days to declassify all the American intelligence relating to the origins of COVID-19 and provide a report back to Congress. The bill asks for information about coronavirus research happening at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, information about researchers there who became ill in the second half of 2019, as well as any information on any work the Wuhan Institute of Virology was doing with or on behalf of the People's Liberation Army. And the bill says that only any intelligence that relates to sources or methods should remain redacted.
Emily, thank you.
All right. So some trying to say that it look like it's trying to be a smear campaign because they're coming up against China, right? And it's crazy, man. I don't know how America just could fight everybody, man. You're just that big and bad. You could just fight everybody. I don't understand. That's ego on steroids, man. I don't understand how you get into it with Russia, China. You got floods. You got this all kind of stuff going on, right? The economy falling, the bottom falling out, right? And it's just crazy, right? Delusional, right? It's just crazy. So do y'all think that's a smear campaign? Or you think that now they want to come, bring it to the front? So declassify. My wife clarified for, because we know classify. They put a lot of documents, a lot of things that happen. They might put it classified. I mean, you don't have access to it. You don't see it. You can't investigate it. You don't talk about the narrative. That's why like things that happen to like MLK and Malcolm X and different things like that, you can classify it and then be like, you cannot open it back up to 60 years from now, 70 years, 50 years. By that time, all of the people that was involved, can be, dead and gone, and, their grandchildren and great-grandchildren is around, you know what I mean? Then you can open that stuff back up. But to say, you know what? We thinking that the C-19 might have had an origin in Wuhan. It's like, duh, it's no we know that, you know what I'm saying? But they're going against the narrative that was once said, bad and a bad spit in some soup or some, I don't know, this real weird narrative that they had is saying how it happened and stuff like that. And now that they're at odds with China, it could be a smear campaign. I don't know. It's very interesting. Let's see what y'all got to say in the chat, if anything. Okay. Just Charles West, shalom. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Y'all son, blessings to you. Blessings to you. I just think that's real weird, man. Very, very weird. All of a sudden, now they want to get on that. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna keep on moving on. We're gonna keep on moving on. Oh, let me get it out the chat. Yeah, it's always like that. Even when America was before World War I. I don't know if you've seen that one episode I had. America was pro-Germany. They was pro-Germany, and then Woodrow Wilson ran his campaign on we would keep America out of the war. We'll keep your sons out of the war. And then when he got in office, some things happened and some calls made and some visits made to him like, yo, we're going to put these boys in the war, or you know what? We're going to tell your stuff, because he was into some stuff. And so next thing you know, America in the war, propaganda came out against Germany, and then America was in the war. So that's why when I always see the different propaganda and different things about different countries, again, not to make no country a Boy Scouts or nothing like that, but it makes you think, because of the past. History repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. Wars make a lot of money. Right? And in order to get everybody to buy into the reset, you got to have something crazy or devastating happening so everybody can, quote unquote, rally together. the planet needs to rally together. So, you know, when different things used to happen, like with the 9/11 thing, you say, okay, we needed, the patriotism was going on and everybody had flags everywhere and we need to rally together as a unified nation and blah, 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 blah. So probably going to be along the same narratives as the globe need to rally together because we got all of these wars, we got all of these indifferences, and we got all this stuff going on. We need to rally together and have a global economy, a global military, right? And everybody's religion, you know, be cool. You know, we all tolerate each other, and you know, that's just false utopia that they want. So that is where we're going. So I want to get to this next story about. There's just so many different stories. Matter of fact, I had to shave off 3 of the stories. It's so interesting. About the West Virginia train derailment. Jacoby had mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, it's an increase in derailments, right? But this one was very interesting in the fact that the cars were empty, didn't have anything in them. So it'll just be a piece of steel in the water, right? You just fish it out and keep it going. But the interesting part is the train that hit the water was the engine, and then the gas had spilled into it. So I think that's very, very interesting. So let's just look at that real quick. But there's a lot of train derailments, you know, in Florida and Arizona, and of course the big spill in Ohio. It's just real weird. But let's just check it out.
Right now with breaking news.
This is 10 News at 5. I'm Brittany McGraw.
And I'm John Carlin. 10 News is on the scene of a train derailment in Sandstone, West Virginia.
Crews say a rock slide caused the derailment right next to the New River.
So we can show you some drone video that our crews on the scene have taken. This has been just the last couple of hours. And let's take a look at what we see there. There you see what you're looking at is the locomotive from the train actually in the river. And I believe, Brittany, we were told this was caused by a rock slide that hit the tracks.
Right. What we can tell you at this point, crews say there were 109 train cars in total with 1 fuel tank and locomotive, as we've shown you in the New River. Our team coverage starts with 10 News reporter Connor Dietrich. He is live in Sandstone tonight. Connor, what's the latest that you can tell us about the situation?
Well, guys, this is about as close to the scene as we can get. Just about a quarter of a mile up this river or down this river, you can still see a little bit of smoke kind of coming out from the area. That's where that train derailed early this morning. And this is what we know so far. The West Virginia Emergency Management Division says a rock slide caused a CSX train to derail. The train came around a corner to find a big boulder on the tracks. 22 of the train cars derailed, but thankfully all of them were empty. However, a locomotive and fuel tank did fall into the river. We're told diesel fuel is pouring into the river. Brian Tucker with CSX says right now it's all about containing that diesel going into the river. I'm going to read to you a quote he gave me. Quote, so our priority right now is containment of the diesel fuel that has leaked from the locomotives. Thankfully, the diesel that leaked from the locomotive that is in the river is being consumed by fire. Tucker says that once they are able to contain the area, then a crew will come in and start dismantling the train cars and start cleaning up the area, guys.
So that kind of begs the question. You've got that fuel. It is burning off to a certain extent, but what sort of environmental impact are we looking at with that locomotive in the river right there?
Yeah, John. Well, right now what we're told is that the West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, they've notified people downstream, public water systems downstream, about the situation. Right now, they're not saying that there's any active threat to the community. We are also wondering what's happening a little bit more close to home. Agencies in Southwest Virginia are keeping track of the situation, but right now they're telling us they are also not worried at this moment. Reporting live in Summers County, West Virginia, Connor Dietrich, 10 News, working for you.
All right. Thank you, Condor. And there again, you still.
All right. So that's very interesting. So you know what? We can live longer with water than we can with food. You must have food and water, right? But you can live longer with water. Say for instance, you didn't have access to food, but you had access to some fresh water. You can, you know, you can make it because our body is made up of water, mostly water. And so yeah, we definitely need water. We definitely need water. So is it coincidence or by design? You know, Milan believes it's by design. I don't know, but I just thought that that's interesting. And this time last year, was it last? It might not even been a year. All of the different food plants just started catching on fire, and the chicken plants, and you know, because if it's not a problem, again, I don't really know with that. But if it's not a problem, how you going to offer a solution if it's really not a problem, right? You have to offer. It had to be a problem in order to offer the solution, right? So we saying fair use to all the videos shown. We just chopping it up to the fat. These are public record videos, and they are uploaded on YouTube and different news. But I think when you question the narrative or speak against the narrative or like I don't know, then that's when they come and say, "Yo, you're trying to talk about a different narrative." All right, so also too, shout out to Bishop Blakely, his wife Angela Blakely. Shout out to Elder Rob. But this is a interesting looting map that they had shown about the continent. Very, very interesting. And if this holds true, there is a lot of it's the land of milk and honey for real, guys. And I'm really starting to believe that a lot of places on the continent is Jerusalem, is Israel. like Teo said, and a few other people said, I'm starting to look that way because there's so much riches, not just that slither of land, right? So you meant to tell me that one slither of land is the land of milk and honey, not Mesopotamia and Iran and Iraq area, quote unquote Middle East, and not this continent with crude oil, gold, uranium, cotton, iron ore, coffee, grains, tea, just all kind of stuff. And I think that's very, very interesting that they have pointed out that when we see a lot of pictures of the continent, we see zebras, we see elephants, right? We see giraffes running around, we see famine, right? Third world. It's nowhere in the world you got this much resources and it's a third world country, right? Unless you chopped it up, right? And I know if you look up this other story, how France is even surviving, period, as a nation because of the wealth of resources here, right? France is surviving as a nation because of the resources here, the resources in Haiti, right? But definitely here. So that's why China is starting to move in to the continent as well, land flowing with milk and honey. Now they do got the Dead Sea, the Dead Sea, and that little slither called Israel, and it got sea salt and stuff like that. But compared to all of this, look at this, right? They got malls, they got cities, they got everything. They really don't show that, right? They don't want you to desire to go back to the continent. Systematic looting in Africa. Africa birthed the human species. She is the mother of us all. How very strange and convenient that racism combined with capitalism to legitimate the ruination of Africa and the stripping of the wealth of a people. Those resources belong to the people of Africa, not the West, not to China, not to transnational corporations. Our motherland and her current children are being robbed. They are not simply being robbed of the wealth that is desirable, natural might bring to them in the world of avarice. They are being robbed of health. They are being robbed of roving groups who steal children and rape and train them as soldiers. They are being robbed of their cultures, right? So That was I'm gonna put that in the chat because that went with this little map right here, right, about the continent. I put that in the chat. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Right. So there's no way Africa should be the most developed continent on the planet. Yeah, and there's plenty of water, right? One brother said he just have migraines and headaches. He moved to the continent. He gets good night's sleeps. I kid you not. And his migraine, he don't have the headaches, right? And it's so. I like your fair use ticket. Yeah, I had to come up with that. But yeah, so the continent. So we praying that Abba Yah, that these different greedy nations get their hands off of the resources in the continent, right? Because, like I said before, I mentioned in the past program, they might not have the money to dig the diamonds out or dig the gold out or whatever. But if you really, really want to help these people, you come up with a plan. You come up with a partnership. Okay, this is your land. Below your feet is diamonds galore, right? We know you ain't got the wealth or the resources or the know-how. I'm going to bring my mining company over there and mine them out, and I get a percentage since it's my material. They don't do that. They dig it out and they take all of the resources, right? So that whole thing where it's like, man, they show pictures of babies with their stomach big and flies all on their face, and they want you to play. That's one thing that Bishop Blakely was talking about today. I said that's interesting. He said that, you know what I mean. But it's a lot of money and a lot of wealth on that continent, right? And so we praying to the Most High that the enemy come and steal, kill, and destroy. And Abba Yah say, I come that you may have life and that more abundantly, not in the great by and by, not in the Shemayim, but right here and right now. And he provided enough for all of us to I want to say, I'm gonna use that word, coexist, to work together, right? And every place is different, but every place they got something to bring to the table. But with that colonization going on, it's hard to divvy up. If what's mine is mine, what's yours is mine is your mentality, then it's hard to divvy that up. Okay? So very interesting. Shalom, blessings to y'all. I want to play one of my I forgot I can find it. Play one of my songs from my one of my old songs. I know if you haven't did the survey, please do the survey. Please do the survey to really help me out. It's in the chat. I will put it in the chat again. Do those surveys so it can let me know. Oh, man, they got all kind of stuff opening up on the side. Okay. Blessings to y'all. Blessings to y'all. Next week, I'm probably going to have a Kahoot game. Probably going to have us a Kahoot game. And then we're going to have to do another one of those shows where we game shows, right? We're going to have us a game show going on. So we praise the Most High for that. But I want to be able to play some of my old songs if I can get to it. All right, playlists. These are some old songs just before we knew that. I knew that we were the people. So I'm going to play some of these old songs. You let me know. They're not old, but they're older than 7 or 8 years old. And I guess I was and I don't want to get ahead of myself because when Sister Rook at the Real interview me, I'm gonna tell my testimony and tell some different things like that. So we believed at first I used to believe the people that's over on the continent, over in the land, so-called occupied Israel, was the people. So we was like, I guess, Messianic Christians, to you know what I'm saying, and we were told and taught that we were Gentile, and but even before then, we still wasn't ill will towards the Khazars or nobody, you know what I mean. But now that we know the truth, now it don't matter all of a sudden. You know what I mean? People always say it's the cross before the crown. Everybody wants their crown. Everybody want to be like the Most High. Everybody want to screencast and be royalty. But then when it comes to that suffering, when it comes to that accountability, then it's like you can handle that part. But anyway, this is a song called Flesh Got Murked off an old album, I think back in 2009. I want y'all to check it out if you haven't already.
Yo, in the beginning was the Word, it was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh. The incorruptible King became corruptible, and his rescue mission was come deliver us from his mess. I see people from my past, and they say, well, what you doing, man? You got a new walk, and a new talk, and a new way of doing things. There's a war going on in your members. It's called the sin nature. Become one with the Spirit of God. Why? Because the devil hates you. You want to sweat a man because he sold a record, and you want to fret a man because he hold a weapon. But my God told me, no weapon formed shall prosper. So you do you. I'm just continue to preach the gospel. Sometimes it feel like 32 imps helping me, but I won't bow because misery loves company. You want to know how we phase them? We lift our hands and praise him. Praise who? The one that created heaven and earth, the one that made you. Truth be told, you need to get up on this fellow's team. Sovereign ruler of everything. We call him Elohim. He's my God. You're making more noise than your iPod and your iTunes. Coming at you through the hallway because he's trying you. Spirits have alive in the flesh. Man, you killing me. It ain't about emotion, so I don't care if you ain't feeling me. At night, the wicked and the spirit devils be bowling. Holy Ghost be coming with the spiritual explosion. Boom! People looking around like what just happened. God is coming back. This time, he gonna be snapping. Breaking the cone of silence. Long suffering is done. Dealing with those in violence who don't accept the Son. Think you a good person? Boy, you got your nerve. God give you the grace and not what you deserve. Think you a good person? Boy, you got your nerve. God give you the grace and not what you deserve. Like boom. See, this is one of them unorthodox songs. So we ain't gotta follow the pattern. I guess the chorus can go something like this. Flesh got murked and it's outlined in chalk. And now I got a new walk and a new talk. My flesh got murked and now it's outlined in chalk. And now I got a new walk and a new talk. My flesh got murked and it's outlined in chalk. And now I got a new walk and a new talk. That's it.
Amen. That was back in the day when I had hair. Amen, amen. I'm probably gonna come and do some more music or whatever. Bishop Brown inspired me to dust the mic off and get back out there. This other song called Drac for Swag.
Flat broke, won't listen. No money, can't pay attention. Man, that's a tight beat. Man, hold up. Now I got you hooked. Tow truck, I got that bread of life. He says he's on a diet. I see him window shopping. Won't buy it. The shoe is blood flows non-stop. You can't be bought again. Pawn shop, let him have a swag, but don't take no spirit though. Devil is deceiving, so the Holy Ghost is critical. Sideways for victory, no time to be looking pitiful. We are overcoming, so we keep that to a minimum. No men that war for Yeshua, get entangled with the cares of this life, cause they come to bring a strangle. Geometry of block, coming at them all angles. Truth about erupt in the street, volcano. You want a complex life, but talk about simple things. Like 3 times dope, triple team. He coming 3 the hard way. We call him Elohim. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, now you triple team. I bring the truth, I'm the one you put the blame on. But I ain't did nothing. Trayvon, Holy Ghost, hot fire like napalm. Indwelling and I'm yelling to get your praise on. The man on the crucifix, Yeshua not new to this. He rose from the grave, many be saved, you know who he is. Was led in the wilderness and tempted but without sin. Ascended into the heavens, one day he returned again. Multitudes don't believe, but who do you say I am? We call you Yehoshua, we call you the great I am. Hold on to that revelation, flesh and blood did not reveal. Give him humility, and that's how we keep it real. H2O, living water sipper. Holy Ghost be moving and we follow him like Twitter. Ambition for the mission, so he call me go getter. He coming for his bride, God said go get her. And just like a surgeon, I be working on my patients. I get the mind of Christ and I take it to the nation. Round of applause, that's a standing ovation. We all get involved like crowd participation. The end is how we be glued. We live in the street of truth. Percentage of rented, a minute when it will lead you to the answer you're looking for. Come in through the open door. Come into his presence. The blessedness that he took the load. So you get a new label, no longer notorious. He make us a new creation, and that's what his glory does. No, I would not lie to you. Not good with exaggeration. So come on and try the truth and cast down imagination.
Shalom. All right. Okay. Praise Yahushua.
This mistake.
All right. Praise Yahushua. We'll say that last video for another time. Yatarian spelled life. Praise Yahushua. And then Saraya said it sounded like the Grind family. That's a little group from our area, West Cal. And then Calvin gonna say for real, Calvin, where you from? You ain't from up this area, is you? You know, where you type put in there where you from. Where y'all represent from, man? Tell me where y'all represent in the chat real quick before we leave up out of here. Put where y'all from. You know what I mean? What city y'all represent as of right now? Let me know what's going on. I already know Camp 4 from Baltimore, Saraya, representing East Chicago, Chocolate City, Gary, and those different areas right there. Chicagoland area. We got people from Carolina. We got people from Georgia. We got people from all over. And you know what? The other day when a live was going on, one of my sons was like, yo, you know, because, you know, he see all these different people in the chat, Shalom and Shalom and Salama and all this different. They said, where are these people from? So, man, they from all over, son. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, man, you're not alone. I said, no, I'm never alone. If I would be for me, who could be against me? I'm never alone. Praise Yahushua. We are one, and we are awakening to the things of the Most High. Now, that song, even though I still thought I was quote-unquote Gentile, we still Yahusha, and we can say Yahusha, Yeshua, and Shalom, and Nasar Shalom, and all of that different stuff. Because remember, we was around Messianic, well, I was around Messianic Jewish congregations and stuff like that. So, but now to come full circle and to say, yo, that's your book. You the people of that book. Oh, snap. Right? Well, that don't matter. You know, that's skin doctrine now. And then, oh, snap. It don't matter now. It was all good when we, and I didn't have a problem with it when I thought that y'all was the people. You know, you take it away from salvation, take it away from Yahusha. No, we not. Right? Because if you get the people wrong, you're going to get everything else wrong. And even with that land of milk and honey in that last comment, as far as more than just that little slither of land the size of New Jersey is Israel, right? It comes down to West Africa, Ethiopia, comes all down to, you know, the land of no return, Benin and Ghana, and I believe it's, you know, some parts of South Africa. A lot of those different things that look like it was like a cover-up. But I'm investigating it a little bit more, and what sparked my interest in that is when Teo, shout out to Teo, he was talking about, yo, man, I believe the continent Israel is on the continent. Because it is, if you think about it, it's a land flowing with milk and honey. It's a land truly flowing with milk and honey, right? And so I think that's interesting, man. And it makes sense. It's lush green, beautiful rivers, you know, beautiful valleys or whatever. And then they try to make it Wakanda is, you know, a fake city and type vibranium. That, you know, that was represent the cobalt and the gold that's in there, and it's only one place that have it, and this, that, and the other, and you know what I mean. And it's a hidden city and different things like that, and people come and trying to take it and do other things with it. You know what I mean? So I think that's very interesting, that story and stuff. So let's see, waterfalls. Yeah, I seen a picture of a mall over there, man. He was flame rolling them beats. I haven't rapped in a long time. See, we used to do this. Well, I'm about to have my 50th birthday party. That's gonna go and tell my age. So at the end of the month, I'm gonna have a 50th birthday party, a comedy roast bash. My wife, and she convinced me to have a roast where I have friends come up from college and high school and they're just supposed to roast me. And I was like, nah, you're not talking about me. But she's like, oh, it'll be fun. So then I said, okay. So I said, well, let me just put an interest out there. So I put the information out there. It's going to be in Northwest Indiana. If you're interested, I'll send it to you. You can come out. And so we used to do this gospel rap and stuff like that. And we used to go around different neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? So we used to camp with what we call was a campaign for Christ. So a lot of times people can go to these concerts, these Jay-Z concerts or whatever, just, you know, they live in the hood, you know what I mean? And they really don't go to the concerts. They play the music. I said, well, what if we campaign? What if we went to the different neighborhoods and we threw a concert for them for free, right? So we got the permits and we go around, you know, and canvassing and sharing the news of the Most High. You know, this one is, you know, of course, a lot younger, and pull out the grill and do the shirts and watermelon and food. And I'm telling you, we had a food for each community, right? People would donate. We'd go out there, share the good news of Mashiach with people and seeing people delivered and set free. And it was very cool, man. So we should go out and do, so that's the reason why we did a lot of the music. We did part of the Poster Boys, because it was called Poster Boy. Me, Elder Rob, Brother Lou, Clarence. So it was like a poster, Red of All Men. Like when you put a poster or a bulletin on the wall, then you look at it and, you know, you read what's going on and it gives you information. So we was posted up. We was the Poster Boys. And so we used to go around and, you know, do music and stuff like that. But anyway, let's get back on the rail. Let's get back on the rails. Back to the rails. Oh, yeah. West Cal. Okay, I know exactly what you're saying. Exactly, man. We used to sit on this rail, man, and just hang out. Beautiful, beautiful night, hang out. Sometimes the police be like, what y'all doing? Like, we ain't doing nothing. We just young kids hanging out. But anytime we gather, it's like y'all up to something. Now we up to having fun and chilling. You know what I mean? We wasn't, you know, always doing nothing wrong. Yeah, so we got, let's see, Bronx in the building. I remember when I went to Brooklyn. I had family in Brooklyn or whatever. I had a blast with the Brooklyn. I went to Queens. We got some Junior's cheesecake with the Manhattan. I think the Statue of Liberty was down when we went. They was repairing it or something. But yeah, man, I want to go back. But the Bronx, man, yeah. Okay. DC area. Okay. Shalom. DMV area. I love the East Coast. I love the East Coast. Yeah, man, that was going to be one of the places I was going to move to. Philly. I love Philly because when I was doing my, you know, before the gospel, we used to do secular, and we was trying to get this music deal and all that. And I don't want to go into another show. We already had 58. But we was going to get this music deal or whatever. And then the bottom just fell out. The company went bankrupt. And we couldn't get the money for the 12-inch. We was, you know what I mean, we was going to get our music into a pool play with the different DJs in the Philly area. Let them play it for a couple of months and then go back out there and open up for different people. And, you know, and it just didn't, that wasn't the Most High's, what he wanted us to do. And so it's cool. Now, looking back on it, I don't regret anything. You know what I mean? Because it might have been sticky situation, might have been harder to try to get out of the music business. But I thought that was the way out, to try to get in the music business, because, you know, you get in the sports or you get in the music business and, you know, take care of your people. You know what I mean? You know, so Yo MTV Cribs and all these different things. And we don't think about other ways to make wealth. We don't think about other ways of starting to get wealth for our people. Yeah. So, yeah, 5-0. I'm going to be 5-0. I have to tell all my business. But, yeah, man. And so, yeah, back to the rails. Yeah, so anybody else put in the chat where you're from? Bluff City? I think you said this before, Bluff City. Joy, you at Naptown? Joy? That ain't Joy Edwards, is it? Naptown. Okay, you down in Florida. I've never been to Florida. And I've never been to Florida. I've never been to California. And I've never been to Las Vegas, Nevada. But I do want to go down to Florida because I got family down there. and stuff like that. GA, Georgia. Yeah, we're supposed to be heading out to Georgia not too long from now. Norfolk in the building. How you know about the Grind family? Grind family was everywhere though. Yeah, Rep Wisconsin. Shout out to Ruhama. We went up there about 3 years ago and hang out with Ruhama. Was Wisconsin State Fair, and I had a ball. The soul food place, and they had a chicken jerk, a Jamaican place. Woo! Food is for real. The business. So yeah, man. We just chewing the fat. I wanted to make sure the Gump. That's where Forrest Gump was at. Montgomery. Yeah, my people down in 5 Points, Alabama, too, on my wife's side. My people from Hope, Arkansas, and Hammond, Louisiana. So I don't know if I'm Creole or not. But Hope, Arkansas, and Hammond, Louisiana. So by way of Cali. Okay. I've never been out that way. I do want to. Tampa in the building. Okay. See, we got Israel everywhere. That's what I'm talking about. I wish we was all closer. I'll take y'all out to lunch and we just hang out and laugh and all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah. So that was the whole thing. The campaign for Christ. We go to these different neighborhoods and minister to people, holler at people. You know what I'm saying? That's where the music came from. So I just recently just really stopped. I started doing the growing and started doing some other stuff. But I'm like, man, Elder Bishop Brown, man, he got amazing projects coming out. Eshawn Burgundy, amazing projects. I'm like, I might do a song or two. Nolans, okay. Okay, the NO. Yeah. That's what's up, man. We are all over the place, man. We are all over the place representing. Praise Yahushua HaMashiach. So I'm gonna say a little prayer and get on up out of the chair. And we're gonna keep this time 6 o'clock every Sunday. Also, y'all can email me elephantman050@gmail.com and give me some ideas or whatever. We will have game show coming up. We will continue to have special guests coming up, and we will continue to have current news or whatever like that. All right. So blessings to y'all. Thank y'all for joining, man. We had a good time. Oh, I had a good time chopping it up with y'all. Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown Man come. Oh, be looking out for the Grow Culture. I got a new logo, but I'm gonna show the old intro. Watch it. It just felt Martha Stewartish. A garden and farming network. We got to be able to grow our own food. So there's a food shortage. Okay, let me get some seeds. Then you know what too? They're going to start registering gardens and farms and stuff like that, so they can keep a tab on what you growing, how you growing. Because Abba Yah said what? As long as there's the earth, there will always be seed time, harvest time, right? Always be seed time and harvest time. So we're going to show our people. That's one of my passions, to show us how to grow. And we're going to have webinars and seminars. And the first one is going to be on urban agriculture, because it's a different setup between urban and rural. And, so you can still grow stuff if you stay in an apartment. You can still grow stuff if you got a small backyard. It don't matter. So we're going to get you some creative ways to be able to grow. And even if you only grow one thing, it's just real cool. So I'm gonna show that intro one more time. And see, now I'm about to get another intro because I got a different logo. He Martha Stewartish. I was trying to think about a TV show. Now my son said that's lame. And that lame. That's why I like it. Because you think it's lame. I do not deserve blessings, brother. No. Elephant Man Podcast, I'm not Israel. Just for clarification, I do not deserve the blessings, brother. No, you're blessed. You're blessed, man. You're blessed, right? It's not like that, man. The strangers, and so he's no respecter of person. He's not like that. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in the finished work of Yahushua, follow his law, statutes, and commandment. That's why I say there's a multitude of people different nations and tongues. If you read in Revelation, in the Shemayim, in the New Jerusalem, it wasn't just Israel. So a lot of times, some people might preach Israel only. No, they ain't read their Bible. They made it do something that they wanted to do. They had their private interpretation going on because it's gonna be every nation and tongue. It's gonna be Chinese in there. It's gonna be Indian in there, Russian, all kinds of folk in the New Jerusalem. Like Gangster Gardner, he's from Cali. Yes, I look at Gangster Gardner stuff. See, y'all finna take me to a whole other show. We're gonna be here another 10 minutes. But yeah, I like Gangster Gardner stuff. And Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, my brother K Webb, he was down in Jacksonville, Florida. And I got another relative. He does secular rap, Young and Ace. That's my first cousin's son. He's no longer in Jacksonville, but Young and Ace is I remember him being a little chap, and then they're like, "Oh, Youngins, look on TV and look on you." I'm like, "Wow, my man's is doing it." As far as getting traction as far as selling music. So Young and Ace is I don't know what that would make him to me because my first cousin son. So I don't know if that make him my cousin or what, because I'm not his uncle, because I'm not my first cousin's brother. But anyway, don't get me going and all that crazy stuff. I'm going to grow food in my, let me see. I'm going to grow food in my pantry. Let me see. I'm going to grow food in my apartment. I watched a video on how to build a platform. That's self-watering. That's self-water. What are you growing? Absolutely. So what I'm growing, oh, excuse me. Oh, my second cousin. Okay, so Young and Ace is my second cousin. Okay. But yeah, you can grow. So I got a little small plot in the back, and then what I'm doing is I'm getting different people with different yards and different. Some people got plots of land, and so it depends on what's going on. Because some people might have a nice yard or a nice plot of land, but they're older and they can't really get out there like that. But they got a water source and a plot of land. We're gonna be able to grow on their stuff after we test their soil, But I do greens, I do collard greens, I do mustard greens, I do cash crops. So you got a certain things what I call cash crops that our neighborhood eats: mustard greens, collard greens, tomatoes, because you can get 2 harvests off of them. You can pick them when they're green and get fried green tomatoes, and then pick them when they're red and then put them in your salsa, tomato, whatever, right? And so I do those. I do beans, I do carrots, do beets, do radishes. So Duval. Okay, let me know what's going on with that. Duval. But so yeah, I do cabbages, I do all those different things. Everybody, listen to what Sam's saying. Oh, Saraya. Everybody should buy seeds, whether you plant them or not, because food stores are going to sell. Yeah. When you say seedless, and I used to think when I was younger, how convenient it was to have seedless grapes and seedless watermelon, because I ain't got to spit out all of these watermelon seeds. Then I'm like, well, man, seed time, harvest time, where's the seed? So very, it's modified and different things like that. And they will fool you because they all sweet and good. But man, you want to see seeds in your Connecticut. Abbott Cole, blessings to you. You had to make that as blessed your nation. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying, Rohan. You already know, bro. We bros. It ain't like that, and it's all good. But yeah, man, we need to get back growing, a grow culture or whatever. And there's so many grants out here, so many different things out here. I'm on the educational end. I love it. Teach the young people, and then they go theory to practice. We just don't want to have a bunch of theory, because there's a lot of times they took a lot of the trade schools out and the career centers out where we learn the different trades, and now we just all theory, right? With no hands-on training, no practice till you get out of school. You know what I mean? You need to go theory to practice. More labs, more workshops, more hands-on. And I think we learn like that. So I think That'd be cool. Where? What you mean? What you mean, Abbott? What you mean by that? I don't get what you're saying. Where? He's at Groton, Connecticut. You put that in there. That's where you at, ain't it? Connecticut? Okay. Cool. Yep. So that's what I'm getting at, man. We're gonna get out of here before we go into a whole nother different show. We had an hour 10. Remember, every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Central. Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown Man Conversations. Dylan Evans in the room. I am out.
Perfect.